Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast, and just a YouTube video out here on the internet. And I'm with Matt Anderson today, a website developer here at Hook Agency. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's up?
Not much. We're talking about 5 tech upgrades that every roofer's website should have.
Yep.
So there's things happening on the internet now. It's a wild, wild place, and things are getting cooler and cooler for roofers.
They are.
On their website. So I just want you to share with the rest of the world. So we're seeing these things getting integrated on some sites, but not every website, because not every roofer is using these technologies.
Yep.
But talk to me, what are some kind of key tech upgrades? Maybe just give us the list here at the beginning and we'll dive into each of them afterwards.
So for starters, just as like a baseline, making sure your website's connected to Google, getting all that data, analytics and Search Console, using your tag manager, all that stuff, just to have information. We live in a data age, so you gotta have.
You wanna have your you know, where your visitors are coming from, how many visitors you have, how many of them are converting into leads, that kind of thing.
Yep, so that's a baseline. There's other, like you said, there's awesome technologies that are kind of surfacing, and the construction industry is getting some cool new toys, digital toys. Company Cam is a really cool one. I kind of love Company Cam. Does some really cool stuff.
It's ultimately just photo gallery. Like the part that we're talking about is on a photo gallery on the website, but it's a documentation tool. If you guys aren't familiar with it, most roofers are. But
yeah, it's existed for a while. It's a great tool that I think most roofers are aware of, but they have some new features that make it really easy to showcase your best projects or the type of work you want to get more of on your website in a gallery. So super cool. Hover's another great one. That's another kind of 3D visualization tool that I think more and more roofers are aware of and using, and they have some nice assets you can drop in a website, just like give a visitor, a potential customer, maybe more of an idea of what their project could look like. If you can help them visualize what they might be able to get out of working with you, how much more likely does that make them to work with you? So, little nudges. Having a good CRM or something again that you can build on top of Google Search Console or Analytics with, and also have a CRM to keep in contact. Manage your leads. Your proposals, all that stuff.
AccuLinks, Job Nimbus on the I know we're not talking to HVAC companies, but like they use Service Titan a lot. And Workies is another one.
Yeah, there's tons of them.
Sumo Quote is a little bit more on the proposal side.
Just proposals, and a lot of those things talk to each other. So if you want to use Builder Trends and then use Sumo Quotes just for having really nice, flashy proposals, you can do that. A lot of those guys play nice together, and there's a cool ecosystem out there. So,
what else?
CallRail. That's a really nice. That is another, again, just great way to get clarity on who's coming to your site, who's responding to your ads. Saves you a ton of really time and money to know exactly where your leads are coming from.
Okay, let's dive into that one, and then we'll dive into each of these in turn and why why people are doing this, right? So why does tracking calls matter on your website?
Yeah, so like I said briefly, it's really about efficiency, and that could be efficiency of time, efficiency with your ad spend, your money. You're putting money into marketing, right? And you'd like to know, it'd be good to know where to push, where to spend more.
Well, then if you're not putting money into marketing, maybe I don't need this.
Let's back up. Put money into marketing. That's the first thing. But if you're doing that, then CallRail is a great tool to help you know where to push, where to spend more money. So CallRail lets you basically put a dynamic number on your phone or tie a specific number to a PPC ad campaign.
So how does it do that? Give us just a little bit of like what is it doing that makes it able to track?
So usually you'd put a phone number on a website, right? You'd want somebody to be able to call you, have a button that says call now, get a quote. That's great. What CallRail does is it gives you a couple little scripts, and you drop those in your website in the header. If it's a WordPress site, that's typically pretty easy to do. You just take that little snippet, drop it in, verify your account, and then what CallRail does is it creates a dynamic number. So depending on different locations, different ad campaigns, CallRail will set up different numbers, and it'll actually swap out the number on your website. So somebody in one location or viewing one PPC ad campaign or ad that shows up in search results, they might see one number. And if they call that, CallRail can say, Joe Blow, probably shouldn't, we'll edit that out.
Why can't you say Joe Blow?
That's maybe not the
He
best.
could be Joe Blow.
Yeah, okay, that's, there you go. Yeah,
Joe Blow.
Joe Blow. Huh.
All right.
It's that, yeah.
I'm not going to do the action for that one.
Let's not.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, but let's say Joe sees an ad and he calls, and you get to have a conversation with Joe, and that leads to a job. Well, with CallRail, you know exactly which ad he saw. Yeah. So you know exactly which campaign that lead came from.
Okay, sweet. I love that.
It's great.
All right, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the company cam thing. So we're moving on to the next one. Company cam, very interesting to me. I'm really into the gallery thing. But what makes you interested in doing that versus just like a native gallery on a WordPress website? Why not just do a native gallery?
That's a really good question. I think those can be great. And it really depends on the client and maybe what you want to do with your website. So some people that we work with, maybe like a commercial construction agency or a company for that matter, maybe they have the resources and the ability to put together a really comprehensive case study and put that on their website. And they've got people who can, contractors that can get photos of job sites, and they've got people who can do the write-ups and gather the information and put together this beautiful case study.
No matter who you are, this is kind of hard though.
It is, and it can be great, but it is hard. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And what we typically see is that's just one more thing you have to do. A website should be a living, breathing thing that's updated and grows and reflects, the good work that you're doing, but that's work to do. So Company Cam's great because they have this new gallery feature, they call it a showcase, that lets you take photos and information from jobs if you're already using Company Cam and just kind of pick and choose completed projects that you want to show off, and you set up in, literally it takes 5-10 minutes on the back end of your Company Cam dashboard to set up a showcase, click through the projects you want to add, and then again gives you a little iframe code. You can drop that on any page on your website, and you get a little gallery of all those projects that automatically updates every time you add a project. So I think what's great about it is it fits into your workflow a little easier.
That's beautiful.
Right?
How important is the visualization part? You had mentioned Hover as one of these tools. There's more than one of them, but Hover is kind of a little bit more of a common one we've seen. We're able to connect a form through Zapier to Hover and text them. I went through the whole process, text them and says, all right, set it up, and they set it up in the app. They can even go out and take the pictures around the home, right? Hover's cool. But the question is it worth it for roofers? Because each one of those is like, it actually costs money to them that they do. So it's like, I think it's like 58, I think it might be $80 per. If they do set it up, they're much more likely to go through with a project potentially with you. But is it worth the $80? And should contractors be pushing that more? And is there a danger of them like they do this and then every single lead they get is $80, another $80, and they might have spent money to get that lead?
So I think the answer partially depends. Like, what is your cost per lead that you're comfortable with? If $80 fits into it, then I absolutely think it's worth it.
It usually doesn't. This is what, but I kind of am asking a question I kind of know that I have a thought for, which is basically the idea that most people don't use this. Like, we don't put this on the main form. We often put it on a secondary form that's like, get a free visualization tool. And those are pretty good leads if they do come through there. and it's like, let's say like 1 out of every 10 leads goes through that route or something like that, that's not the worst thing ever. I guess it's just, I don't think it's as big of a deal, but it is something to think about with the cost.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think it
I don't want to put it on the main
sales
form.
is
Is the point.
about, yeah, no, but yeah, it's a way to create buy-in and a way to increase. If you get a potential customer to do something, and there's the reward of getting to maybe see something.
Oh yeah.
That I think that creates a lot more buy-in. So it is spendy. It is maybe not something that you want to push on. Like you said, every page, but I think it does have some benefits in it.
And if it does exist on one page, you can always just tell people that want that tool to go there, and then it automatically will connect them through the texting and that kind of thing. Okay, so we're talking about Job Nimbus, AccuLinks, there's another one, RoofLink, they're big, but what is do we need to like have the forms going into CRM every single time? What is that like? Like I think a lot of roofers don't necessarily expect it, but should we be connecting it to CRM every single time?
I think that's another kind of it depends question.
Okay.
I do think there's a critical mass, like if you will, where you do need a CRM. Some way to track leads and clients so that things don't fall.
3 leads a month? If I have 3 leads a month? I don't need a CRM if I have 3 leads?
No.
How about 20?
Maybe. I feel like, if you're getting to like 50 to 100 leads a month, it depends too, I guess, on how many sales reps you have.
Yeah.
And, if you're one guy,
doing 50 leads a month, you probably winning.
Probably want a CRM.
Congratulations on winning.
Wow.
Profitable.
Yeah. So I think, if you're starting out, I don't think a CRM is worth the time or the money to set up, and it kind of creates, I think, like this false sense of things happening.
Yeah, I see this awesome guy, and I'm not talking smack, but there's this dude, Adam Sand, who sits here doing crazy integrations, and he's on Facebook, and he's actually uses HubSpot for roofing, which he does very advanced kind of workflows, and I respect the shit out of him. And if you're a bigger roofing company, go talk to Adam Sand, because he's freaking awesome. But it kind of creates this expectation for some people that are on the come up from that 0 to 50 leads range that think they need to do all this automation. The one place I would suggest people do automation more often is follow-up. So there's something that I think we should be talking about too is this app called Powerline. It's no E in power, but it's Powerline. It's actually one of our roofing clients that is starting soon, Delorier Roofing. They made it, and it's texting and email follow-up, but it's really, really lightweight.
Nice.
So you can connect it to your forms, and then it'll automatically follow up from that point on. And you can create custom workflows in there, and it's really simple UI, and the only thing it's built for is just follow-up.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
When you're under 50 leads, or a lot of people are like under 20, 30 leads a month, I think the simpler and more lightweight you can make your CRM and your follow-up stuff, the better. If you're out here trying to do crazy custom workflows, I love that at the larger scale, and I think it's really... It's a wild goose chase at the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I agree. Yeah, having a great tool maybe for proposals, that power up for follow-ups, that's awesome. But yeah, simple little tools to help you start forming processes is better than trying to create something big and crazy.
The biggest thing is everyone always says, "What's the best CRM?" That's the question. And I'm in all these roofing Facebook groups. Everyone's always like, "What's the best CRM?" Well, it's Job Nimbus. Well, it's AccuLinks. Well, it's RoofLink. Okay, and it's always like, the best CRM is the one that you use. And people need to identify what they're capable of doing. They need to have somebody help them set it up potentially. And there are a lot of things that you can do with it, but you need to make sure you have enough leads for it, and you need to make sure that you use it and you have it built into your process. Okay, so WordPress websites. We're making WordPress websites. Why do we do WordPress websites?
Yeah. Well,
in a minute or less. This is going to bore people.
Okay. Because it's customizable.
Yeah.
There's, to be just really simple, there's really no limits to what we can do with WordPress.
There's tons of SEO tools built already for WordPress too.
Yeah. So aside from the fact that it's really, that stuff is baked into the way that WordPress is structured, which makes makes SEO a lot easier than something like Squarespace or Wix. Not to throw shade.
They're trying to get better.
And they are getting better, but they have SEO tools that you kind of add on to your website.
But when you're an open source platform and anyone can build something for you, you usually get better tools.
You do. Yep.
And that's the way WordPress has been from the beginning. Squarespace tries to layer it on, Wix tries to layer it on, and it's there's not a bunch of custom Wix and Squarespace developers constantly building SEO tools for those platforms.
Yep. Well, it's proprietary.
Yeah.
It's a closed, fenced-in system, whereas WordPress is a big open ocean of people that are working. It's like an ant colony. Everybody's working together, creating something, building something.
So why not Joomla or one of those other CMSs that are open source?
Yeah. The fact of the matter is they're just not as fleshed out. They're fine. Yeah. But WordPress has been around. There's a better community of people that have built WordPress.
That's basically what I would say too, is anywhere you go, you turn a rock and there's going to be a WordPress developer. Yeah. We don't want you, and I don't think any agency should want you to be shackled to them forever. Mm-hmm. Hey, what if we don't like you anymore?
Yeah.
What if you don't like us anymore? I don't care. Get out. It's all good. The point is you should be able to go and come as you please with an agency. You should not have to have them working on your stuff forever. That's weird.
It is weird.
We see a lot of agencies.
Yeah, with proprietary systems or less well-known or supported things.
And then they have 3-year contracts and they lock you in. Okay, but we don't want this to be a commercial. So, but why a custom theme? Because a lot of these companies, the small agencies, are creating WordPress themed websites, and they're fine.
Yep.
So why are we just high and mighty with our custom WordPress theme? We design it completely custom. Is this just high and mighty? Or is this really doing a service to our clients? And I don't want to hear the cookie cutter answer here. Please tell me, is this, we could make it half the price if we just worked on a WordPress theme. Yeah. So why don't we do that?
Yep. So you're right, we could. And a lot of people do that. And the fact of the matter is there's a time and a place for that. But the people that we work with, the clients that we work with, are not the people that need a simple little starter website. We want to work with people who are really trying to grow, who really care about their company and their brand and having the right online presence that represents them. And I don't frankly think you can do that with a commercial theme, with a cookie cut builder website. Because you're beholden to the limits of that theme. And there's plenty of great themes out there. You can spend a decent amount of money on a really fancy theme.
You could crack it open. I used to do that all the time. I used to break it open and try to do custom modifications to it.
And you can do that for a time. And there's a time and a place for that, I think. But I think just like with what's that line where you need to start actually looking at using a CRM to grow and manage your business. I think there's a line where that type of site, using a commercial theme, modifying it, doing some little patches and stuff, there's a time and a place and a season where that works. And then there's a time when you've got to have something that is actually custom tailored to you, that you can expand, that can grow with you and doesn't constrain you anymore.
I like that, constraint.
Yeah.
You don't want to be constrained by the limits of that theme.
Yeah.
Is page speed really important? And why not just get cheap hosting?
Yeah.
Why does it matter? Because we always push WP Engine.
Yep.
Fancy WP Engine. Why can't I just put this on Bluehost or GoDaddy or one of these cheap hosts?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't Why?
Yeah, so page speed does really matter, especially in the eyes of Google, our almighty internet god. All praise.
Please make us higher in your algorithm.
You know, we got to do what Papa Google wants sometimes, and Google cares about its users' experience, and especially recently, page speed has become something that's increasingly important as far as actually like a ranking factor for your website. If your site's slow, you're going to get passed by for
And that
a faster site.
So hosting matters for that.
So hosting plays into that for sure. You know, if you're on a Bluehost's, shared WordPress hosting thing, you're sharing server space with who knows how many other sites, which means if anybody's traffic surges, everybody else's site potentially suffers. Mm-hmm. You're sharing space. Really what it comes down to, if I could boil it down to an analogy, it's like if you're a roofer, what type of shingles, I guess, would you recommend to your client?
Cheapest possible.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I want to be.
No, you're gonna probably try to give that
higher,
and you probably have a reason for recommending a higher quality shingle because it's probably more durable.
Malarkey architectural. That would be mine. Like I think I'd be a big Malarkey guy if I was a roofer. Malarkey. What's that other one that's like really sexy?
Oh.
F-Wave.
Yeah.
Those are good looking, man.
Yeah.
A modified polymer shingle. I just like the clean looking ones and like the thicker ones, but they're very expensive.
They are.
So like it's always like a balance. I mean, just to bring it back to the hosting analogy, like it's always a balance between not insanely expensive and still pretty good.
Yep.
Because the truth is yes, I say Malarkey architectural and F-Wave, but if I was really out there selling, I wouldn't want to be the highest quote every single time.
Yep.
I want to be like kind of that mid premium.
Yep.
So is that what
that's
WP
what
Engine
that's
is?
what I would say. There are hosting options that are way more extensive and spendy than WP Engine, and there are other ones similar to or maybe a little bit less expensive than WP Engine. I would say, if anything, the thing to look for when you're setting up hosting, don't pick a shared hosting plan. Get a managed WordPress plan. And that's going to be reasonably priced, and it's going to give you better tools and better server resources, which ultimately equals a faster website. So WP Engine's a great one, but there are other ones that I think, if anything, just don't pick a shared hosting plan.
My question is, do you really believe in what Hook Agency does? And if you do, could you look into this camera and implore somebody to make it why work with a premium website design and development company and not one of the smaller, like we're doing a theme, like let's say they're a couple years in, 3 years in. Why work with Hook? And then I guess ask for them to work with us at the end.
I like it. Ultimately, not to throw shade at anybody else, I think we really care at Hook. We take the time to get to know you, and we don't just crank out a themed website that, we get it done in a couple weeks and here you go, here's your site, off you go, thanks for your money. We're in it for the relationship. And I think one of the coolest things about working at Hook is getting to experience milestone moments with our clients. It's more than just building them, designing and building a website. It's getting to celebrate the first lead that, we had a new client this week that we launched a new site for them. They're starting a new business, and they got their first lead from that business and from that website. And we got to be excited with them and celebrate that. And I love that we aren't just a website firm, like a puppy farm cranking stuff out. It's awesome to get to work with cool people who care about their customers and be able to build a relationship with them. So if you care about actually getting to know the people that you're working with for your marketing, I would love the chance to work with you on your website. I know our team would love to be able to work with you and be a partner. So I think that's the difference that Hook and our team brings, is we really want to partner with people. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Matt, for being on. How should people get a hold, like, on LinkedIn or however you want to be contacted if somebody wants to say what's up?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn at Matt Anderson. You can find me on the Hook Agency page. I'm on Twitter as the Mandalorian. I'm a Star Wars nerd, so it's M-A-T-T. Oh fuck! Now I gotta spell it. Maybe we'll drop it in the comments.
Sounds good, yeah. Cool. And appreciate that, Mandalorian. And I appreciate you guys watching this video, taking the time. I hope this has been useful to you. It was really nice to have Matt on. And it's put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social. And I think this has been a good one. I hope you try out some of these technologies. See you guys.